Blood pooled between Marcus Quinn's fingers as he frantically wrapped the improvised bandage around his forearm. The cargo bay of the damaged transport ship offered little in terms of medical supplies, but he'd managed to tear a strip from his uniform. The gash was deep, a result of being thrown against a jagged piece of metal during the crash landing on this unknown planet. "Just a little tighter," Marcus muttered to himself, using his teeth to pull the fabric taut. The pain shot through his arm like electricity, causing him to wince. The wound was serious, and he knew infection was a real possibility if he didn't get proper medical attention soon. The sound of the airlock cycling made Marcus look up. He wasn't alone on the ship. The other 3 crew members had gone to scout the area, but they shouldn't be back yet. His hand instinctively moved to where his sidearm would normally be, finding only an empty holster. The inner door slid open with a mechanical hiss, revealing a figure that was decidedly not human. Standing nearly 7 feet tall, with pale blue skin that seemed to shimmer under the emergency lighting, the alien had 4 arms and large dark eyes that took up almost half of its face. Its slender body was clothed in what appeared to be a uniform of some kind, white with green markings that Marcus didn't recognize. The alien let out a series of clicks and whistles, its eyes widening at the sight of Marcus and the blood now dripping onto the metal floor. Before Marcus could react, the alien moved toward him with surprising speed, 3 of its 4 arms reaching into pouches at its side. "Stay back," Marcus shouted, scrambling backward until he hit the wall. His injured arm throbbed in protest. The alien stopped, tilting its head in what might have been confusion. It made another series of sounds, softer this time, and held up one hand in what was unmistakably a gesture of peace. From another pouch, it produced a small device, pressed a button, and held it toward Marcus. "Human injured," came a mechanized voice from the device. "I am medical professional. Allow assistance." Marcus stared at the alien, his heart racing. "You speak English?" The alien shook its head and gestured to the device. "Universal translator, basic function, I Zelnik, emergency medical responder. Your vessel sent distress signal. I respond." Marcus relaxed slightly, though he kept his eyes fixed on the alien. "I'm Marcus. Marcus Quinn." "Marcus Quinn human requires medical attention," Zelnik said through the translator. The alien's eyes fixed on Marcus's bandaged arm. "Bleeding not controlled properly." Zelnik approached again, more slowly this time, and knelt beside Marcus. With gentle movements, the alien began to reach for the makeshift bandage. "I've got it," Marcus said, tightening his grip on the fabric. "It's just a cut." The alien made what sounded like a scoffing noise, and the translator produced, "Not just cut. Deep laceration. Risk of infection high. My medical training superior for human physiology." Marcus raised an eyebrow. "You've treated humans before?" Galactic Medical Corps training includes all Class 3 sentient species. Humans classified 3 cycles ago. Standard protocol now. Despite his apprehension, Marcus couldn't help but be impressed. "You came alone?" "First responder. Assessment unit." Zelnik reached again for the bandage. "May I examine?" Marcus hesitated, then nodded. "Fine, but I've already started bandaging it." Zelnik carefully unwrapped the blood-soaked fabric, revealing the nasty gash that ran from just below Marcus's elbow, halfway to his wrist. The alien made a clicking sound that the translator didn't interpret. "Laceration requires more than pressure bandage," Zelnik said. "Requires cleaning, antimicrobial application, proper closure." From one of its pouches, Zelnik produced what looked like a small kit. It opened to reveal implements that were mostly alien to Marcus, though he recognized some as being similar to medical tools he'd seen before. "Your medical technique primitive but commendable," Zelnik commented, producing a small bottle. "Attempted to control bleeding correctly. Would have failed." "Thanks for the vote of confidence," Marcus said dryly. "Not criticism. Observation." The alien sprayed something cool onto the wound that immediately numbed the area. "Human first aid often inadequate for serious injuries, normal for non-medical personnel." Marcus watched as Zelnik worked with efficient precision, using all four hands to clean the wound, apply some kind of gel that sealed the edges, and then wrap it with a thin, transparent material that adhered to his skin. "What is that stuff?" Marcus asked, fascinated despite himself. "Biomembrane. Creates sterile environment, promotes healing, dissolves as tissue regenerates." Marcus flexed his fingers, surprised at how good his arm felt already. "That's impressive. Thank you." Zelnik's large eyes blinked slowly. "Function as medical professional. Your crew? Others injured?" "They went to scout the area. We crash-landed about 2 hours ago. Navigation systems failed, and we lost control on entry into the atmosphere. Planet Viridian, outpost world, limited population, mostly research." Zelnik closed the medical kit and stood. "Must locate rest of crew. Assessment needed." Marcus pushed himself up, testing his weight. His legs were a bit shaky, but he felt surprisingly good considering the circumstances. "I'll come with you." They headed west, toward what looked like some kind of structure. Zelnik nodded, a very human gesture that took Marcus by surprise. "Structure likely science outpost. Walk cautiously. Atmosphere safe but terrain unstable in western quadrant." As they exited the ship, Marcus got his first good look at the planet. The sky was a deep purple, with 2 small moons visible despite the daylight. The landscape was rocky and sparse, with patches of strange red vegetation that seemed to pulse slightly. "Weird-looking plants," Marcus commented as they walked. "Viridian flora responds to electromagnetic fields, sensing our presence." Zelnik's pace was measured, its 4 arms swinging slightly with each step. "Harmless to touch, some species edible for humans." Marcus raised his eyebrows. "Good to know, though I'm not planning on sampling the local cuisine if I can help it." They walked for about 20 minutes before reaching the top of a ridge. Below them, nestled in a small valley, was a collection of dome-shaped buildings connected by transparent tunnels. The structures gleamed silver in the alien sunlight. "Research facility," Zelnik confirmed, "currently understaffed, rotation change in 2 cycles." "Do you think my crew went there?" Marcus asked, scanning the area for any sign of his companions. Zelnik pointed toward a set of footprints leading down the slope. "Evidence suggests affirmative." They followed the trail down toward the facility. As they neared the largest dome, Marcus spotted a figure waving at them from one of the transparent tunnels. He recognized Commander Samantha Foster, the mission leader. "Marcus," she called as they approached, "thank goodness you're okay. We were about to send a team back for you." Her eyes widened as she noticed Zelnik. "And I see you've met one of the locals." "This is Zelnik," Marcus explained, "medical responder. Patched me up after I cut myself in the crash." Commander Foster nodded respectfully to the alien. "We're grateful for your help. The rest of our crew is inside, speaking with the facility director." Zelnik made a gesture that the translator interpreted as, "Pleased to assist. We'll need to examine all crew members for injuries." They were led through the tunnel into the main dome, where Marcus found the other 2 members of his crew, Technical Officer James Lee and Communication Specialist Elena Rodriguez, sitting with another alien. This one was shorter than Zelnik, with mottled green and brown skin and what appeared to be some kind of breathing apparatus attached to its face. "This is Director Prav," Commander Foster explained. "He's been kind enough to offer us shelter while we repair our ship." Prav stood and made a series of clicking sounds. A device similar to Zelnik's translated, "Welcome to Viridian Research Outpost. Your accident fortunate in location. Many areas of planet uninhabited." Marcus nodded. "We appreciate the help. Our navigation system malfunctioned, and we lost control during entry." "Common occurrence in this sector," Prav replied. "Magnetic anomalies disrupt systems not properly shielded." Zelnik moved forward, addressing both the humans and Prav. "Must examine all crew for injuries. Human Marcus Quinn suffered laceration requiring treatment." "I'm fine," Technical Officer Lee said, holding up his hands. "Just a few bruises." Elena nodded in agreement. Same here, nothing serious. Commander Foster hesitated. I might have sprained my wrist when we landed. It's a bit swollen. Zelnik approached her immediately, taking her arm with gentle precision. After a brief examination, the alien produced a device from one of its pouches and held it over Foster's wrist. A soft blue light pulsed for a few seconds. Minor sprain, Zelnik confirmed. Tissue stimulator will reduce inflammation. Recommend limited use for 24 hours. Foster flexed her wrist experimentally. That feels better already. Thank you. Director Prav moved to a console on the wall and pressed several buttons. Have assigned quarters for your crew. Repair team notified of your vessel's condition. Assessment tomorrow when daylight returns. Marcus looked out through the transparent dome at the darkening purple sky. How long is night here? 14 standard Earth hours, Prav replied. Suggests rest period for humans. Repair work begins at first light. Zelnik turned to Marcus. Must change bandage before sleep cycle. Wound requires monitoring for first 24 hours. Marcus nodded, suddenly aware of how exhausted he felt. The adrenaline from the crash and subsequent events was wearing off, leaving him drained. Lead the way. The quarters they were assigned were surprisingly comfortable, clearly designed with various species in mind. The beds could be adjusted for different physiologies, and the environmental controls allowed for customization of temperature and humidity. After the crew had settled in, Zelnik arrived with medical supplies to check on Marcus's wound. How's it looking? Marcus asked as the alien carefully removed the transparent membrane. Healing begun, Zelnik replied, examining the laceration closely. Human regeneration, slower than some species, faster than others. No signs of infection. Marcus watched as Zelnik cleaned the wound again and applied a fresh biomembrane. So, you're part of some kind of interstellar medical corps? Galactic Medical Corps, Division of Sentient Welfare Alliance. Zelnik's large eyes focused on Marcus. Purpose is providing medical assistance to all registered spacefaring species. And humans are registered now? 3 cycles ago. First contact established 5 cycles past. Your species progressing rapidly in space exploration. Zelnik finished with the bandage and packed away the supplies. Too rapidly, some say. Marcus raised an eyebrow. What does that mean? Zelnik seemed to hesitate. Some species believe humans advancing too quickly. Cultural development not matching technological growth. That's a bit judgmental, isn't it? Marcus asked, feeling a slight defensiveness rise within him. Not judgment, observation. Zelnik's translator conveyed what might have been a diplomatic tone. All species develop differently. Humans show great adaptability, also great capacity for conflict. Marcus couldn't argue with that assessment. Fair enough, but we're learning. Yes, learning observed. Why humans permitted in Alliance space now? Zelnik moved toward the door. Rest needed for optimal healing. We'll check wound again in morning. After Zelnik left, Marcus lay back on the bed, staring at the alien ceiling. His arm throbbed dully. But the pain was manageable thanks to whatever Zelnik had applied. His mind raced with the implications of what he'd learned. Humans were known, registered, and apparently somewhat controversial in the wider galactic community. This wasn't exactly how he'd imagined first contact would go, crash landing on a research outpost and being treated for a cut by a 4-armed alien nurse. Morning came with a soft chime from somewhere in the room. Marcus sat up, momentarily disoriented before remembering where he was. His arm felt better, though still tender when he moved it. The biomembrane Zelnik had applied was still in place, the skin visible beneath it less angry-looking than the day before. A knock at his door was followed by Commander Foster's voice. Marcus, are you awake? We're meeting with the repair team in 20 minutes. I'll be right there, he called back, swinging his legs over the side of the bed. After freshening up using the surprisingly human-compatible facilities, Marcus joined the rest of the crew in what appeared to be a meeting room. Director Prav was there, along with Zelnik and 3 other aliens of various appearances. "Good timing," Commander Foster said as Marcus took a seat. Director Prav was just explaining the repair process. Prav gestured to one of the aliens, a stocky, reptilian-looking being with 6 eyes arranged in a circle around its head. "Chief Engineer Trax will oversee repairs. Initial assessment indicates navigation system salvageable, but requires recalibration for local magnetic anomalies." Trax spoke, its voice translated through the same device Prav used. "Human vessel damaged but repairable. 3 days work minimum. Parts available from outpost inventory." 3 days? Technical Officer Lee frowned. "That's going to put us way behind schedule." "Alternative is remaining permanently," Prav noted dryly, the translator somehow conveying the sarcasm. Commander Foster nodded. "We appreciate the assistance. Is there anything we can do to help with the repairs?" "Human assistance welcome," Trax replied. "Technical officer knowledge useful. Others can help transport components." As the meeting continued, Zelnik approached Marcus discreetly. "Wound requires examination. After meeting, please." Marcus nodded, then turned his attention back to the discussion about the repairs. Plans were made for the day, with James Lee going with the alien repair team to the ship, while the rest of the crew would help gather the necessary components from the outpost storage facilities. When the meeting concluded, Marcus stayed behind, as Zelnik had requested. The alien medical officer carefully removed the biomembrane and examined the wound. "Healing progresses well," Zelnik observed. "Human tissue regeneration functioning optimally." "It feels a lot better," Marcus admitted. "Whatever you put on it yesterday really helped. Standard regenerative compound, stimulates cellular repair." Zelnik applied a fresh layer of the gel and a new biomembrane. 2 more applications should be sufficient. Marcus flexed his arm experimentally. "So, I'm cleared for duty. I'm supposed to help move supplies today." "Light duty acceptable. No heavy lifting with injured arm. No exposure to contaminants." Zelnik packed away the medical supplies. "We'll check again this evening." Marcus headed out to join the others, finding Elena Rodriguez waiting for him outside. "How's the arm?" she asked. "Better. Zelnik says I can work as long as I don't overdo it." They made their way to the storage facility, where Commander Foster was already organizing the transport of components. The day passed quickly as they worked alongside the aliens, moving the necessary parts to the repair site. Marcus found himself fascinated by the technology and the various species working at the outpost. By evening, he was tired, but satisfied with the progress they'd made. The repair team reported that the navigation system could indeed be fixed, though it would require complete recalibration to function properly in this sector of space. After dinner, which consisted of surprisingly palatable synthesized food designed to accommodate human nutritional needs, Zelnik once again checked Marcus's wound. "Healing accelerated," the alien noted with what sounded like approval. "Human physiology responds well to treatment." "That's good to hear," Marcus said. "How many different species have you treated?" 27 sentient species personally. Galactic Medical Corps protocols exist for 64. Zelnik applied a fresh dressing. "Humans relatively simple compared to some." Marcus laughed. "I'm not sure if I should be offended by that." "Not intended as insult," Zelnik clarified. "Bipedal mammalian physiology common in galaxy. Similar treatment protocols to 6 other species." "So we're not as special as we thought, huh?" Marcus mused. "All species special in own way," Zelnik replied. "Humans notable for adaptability and curiosity. Valuable traits." The second day followed a similar pattern, with the repairs progressing steadily. Marcus's arm continued to improve, allowing him to take a more active role in the work. By the end of the day, Technical Officer Lee reported that they were ahead of schedule. "At this rate, we might be ready to leave tomorrow," he told the crew during their evening meal. "These aliens really know their stuff." "They've been nothing but helpful," Commander Foster agreed. "I'm going to recommend that Earth establish formal relations with the Viridians when we get back." I think they're already aware of us, Marcus said, explaining what Zelnik had told him about humans being registered with the Galactic Medical Corps. Foster's eyes widened. That's significant information, Marcus. Why didn't you mention this sooner? I wasn't sure what to make of it, he admitted. It sounds like we're latecomers to some kind of interstellar community. We should speak with Director Prav about this, Foster decided. If Earth is already known to alien civilizations, our mission objectives may need to be reconsidered. After dinner, they sought out the facility director, finding him in what appeared to be an observatory, studying holographic star charts. Director Prav, Foster began, we'd like to ask you about Earth's status in the wider galactic community. Prav turned, his breathing apparatus making a soft whistling sound. Wondering when this question would come, human curiosity predictable. So it's true? Foster pressed. Earth is known to alien civilizations? Earth classified as emerging spacefaring civilization, Prav confirmed. Monitoring in place for past 30 Earth years. First official contact established 5 cycles ago with your International Space Coalition. Marcus exchanged shocked glances with his crewmates. The ISC has known about aliens for 5 years? Limited knowledge shared with select human representatives, Prav explained. Gradual introduction protocol standard for new species, prevents cultural shock. But our mission, Foster began, then stopped. We were told we were exploring uncharted space. Uncharted by humans, Prav corrected. Your mission authorized by coalition leadership with awareness of existing galactic community, method of introducing broader human population to reality of interstellar civilization. Elena shook her head in disbelief. So we're basically a publicity stunt, the face of humanity's discovery of alien life? Not an accurate assessment, Prav acknowledged, though purpose more complex. Controlled first contact prevents panic. Your crash landing accelerated timeline somewhat. Marcus thought about this. So what happens now? Are we supposed to act surprised when we return to Earth? Report truthfully, Prav advised. Your experience is genuine. Discovery authentic from your perspective. Official announcements regarding galactic community scheduled to coincide with your return. The implications were enormous. Their mission, which they had believed was a pioneering journey into the unknown, was actually part of a carefully orchestrated introduction to an established interstellar community. Marcus felt a mix of emotions, disappointment at the deception, but also excitement about the wider universe that was now opening up to humanity. The third day brought the completion of the repairs to their ship. Marcus's arm was nearly healed, with only a faint red line where the deep gash had been. Zelnik removed the final biomembrane and pronounced him fully recovered. Remarkable healing, Marcus commented, examining his arm. On Earth, this would have taken weeks to heal this well. Standard outcome with proper treatment, Zelnik replied. Your species will benefit from medical advancements once full integration with Alliance complete. As they prepared to depart, Director Prav presented Commander Foster with a data crystal. Contains navigational information and basic cultural database, will assist with your return and subsequent missions. Foster accepted it with a formal nod. Thank you, Director, and please extend our gratitude to everyone at the outpost who assisted us. Zelnik approached Marcus as the crew was boarding their ship. Have prepared medical kit for your journey. Contains basic supplies compatible with human physiology. Marcus accepted the small case gratefully. Thank you, Zelnik, for everything. You know, when you first saw me bandaging myself, I thought you were going to freak out. Medical professionals rarely freak out, Zelnik responded, the translator somehow conveying mild amusement. Though, must admit, primitive bandaging technique concerning initially. Well, next time I'll know better, Marcus said with a smile. Preferably avoid next time, Zelnik advised, but if occurs, proper technique now understood. With final farewells exchanged, the crew boarded their ship. The engines, now properly calibrated for the local conditions, came online smoothly. As they lifted off from the surface of Viridian, Marcus looked out at the research outpost growing smaller below them. Set course for Earth, Commander Foster ordered, and prepare a complete report of everything we've learned. I have a feeling our return is going to cause quite a stir. The journey back was uneventful, the ship's systems functioning perfectly after the repairs. During the long hours in transit, the crew discussed the implications of what they had discovered. "Do you think the whole mission was planned this way?" Elena asked during one of their meals. "Even the crash?" James shook his head. No way they could have predicted that, but they probably had protocols in place for if something went wrong. That's why Zelnik responded to our distress signal so quickly. "I'm still trying to wrap my head around the fact that aliens have been watching us for decades," Marcus said, "and that our own space agency has been in contact with them for years." Commander Foster sighed. "I understand the secrecy to some extent. Imagine the panic if they'd just announced, 'Hey, aliens are real and they've been monitoring us.' But I don't appreciate being kept in the dark about our own mission." As Earth came into view on their final approach, Marcus felt a strange mixture of homecoming and alienation. The planet looked both familiar and different now, knowing what he knew about its place in a much larger community of worlds. Their landing at the International Space Coalition headquarters was met with the expected fanfare media crews, officials, and a crowd of cheering spectators. What wasn't expected was the presence of several individuals who were clearly not human, standing alongside the ISC director. "Looks like the cat's out of the bag," James muttered as they prepared to disembark. Commander Foster straightened her uniform. "Remember, we tell the truth, all of it." As they stepped out onto Earth soil, Marcus glanced down at his arm, now fully healed thanks to alien medicine. The scar was barely visible, but the experience had left a much deeper mark. Humanity was about to take its place in a galactic community, for better or worse, and he had accidentally been at the forefront of that momentous transition. The ISC director approached them, flanked by the alien representatives. "Welcome back, Commander Foster. I understand your mission took an unexpected turn." Foster nodded, her expression professional but with a hint of challenge. "Very unexpected, Director. It seems there was a lot about this mission you neglected to mention during our briefing." "Security protocols," the Director said smoothly. "But now, thanks to your experience, we're ready to move forward with the official announcement." He gestured to the aliens beside him. "These are representatives from the Sentient Welfare Alliance. They're here to formally welcome Earth into the galactic community." Marcus recognized one of the aliens as being the same species as Zelnik, though not Zelnik himself. The alien stepped forward and addressed the assembled crowd through a translator device. "People of Earth, today marks the official recognition of your world as an emerging member of the interstellar community. Your explorers have demonstrated the qualities we seek in our allies: resilience, adaptability, and compassion. We look forward to sharing knowledge and resources as we move forward together." The announcement sent a wave of murmurs through the crowd, camera flashes intensifying as the historic moment was captured. Marcus caught Elena's eye, and she gave him a small smile. This wasn't how any of them had expected their mission to end, but it was undeniably significant. In the weeks that followed, Earth was in a state of controlled upheaval as more information about the galactic community was gradually released. Marcus and his crewmates found themselves in high demand, their first-hand experience with aliens making them valuable spokespeople during the transition. The Galactic Medical Corps established its first official Earth branch, with human doctors working alongside alien medical professionals to share knowledge and techniques. Marcus was not surprised when he received an invitation to join as a liaison officer, given his experience. 6 months after their return, Marcus attended the opening ceremony for the new Galactic Medical Corps facility in Geneva. As he toured the state-of-the-art medical center, he spotted a familiar 4-armed figure supervising the installation of equipment. "Zelnik," he called, hardly believing his eyes. The alien turned, large eyes blinking in recognition. "Marcus Quinn. Arm healed completely?" Marcus laughed, rolling up his sleeve to show the now invisible scar. Good as new, thanks to you. What are you doing on Earth? Transfer requested, Zelnik explained. Human physiology specialization valuable during integration period. Also found human patients interesting. Well, I'm glad you're here, Marcus said sincerely. Earth's medical community has a lot to learn from you. Exchange of knowledge mutual, Zelnik replied. Human medical professionals innovative despite technological limitations. As they walked through the facility together, Marcus reflected on how much had changed in such a short time. From frantically bandaging his own wound on a crashed spaceship to walking alongside an alien medical professional in an interstellar medical center on Earth, it was a journey he could never have imagined. You know, Marcus said, when you first found me trying to bandage myself on that ship, I thought you were going to take over completely. I was surprised when you acknowledged what I'd done right before fixing what I'd done wrong. Effective medical practice respects patient autonomy and prior efforts, Zelnik responded. Your technique showed understanding of basic principles, required refinement, not dismissal. That's a good philosophy for what's happening between our species, too, Marcus observed. We've got the basic principles, but we could use some refinement. Accurate assessment, Zelnik agreed. Beginning of productive relationship between species often starts with simple act, helping stop bleeding, acknowledging effort, building from there. Marcus nodded, looking around at humans and aliens working side by side. It wasn't perfect, and there would be challenges ahead as Earth integrated into the wider galactic community. But it was a start, one bandage at a time.